reasons we need you. I got an answer for every question that you got. I got an answer. I got an answer for every question that you got. Believe. Didn't know what I do. Felt dumb.
I believe that God brings people together who have different gifts and talents, so that by bringing those different gifts and talents, we are able to go beyond where we could go as individuals only with our gifts and talents. But when we bring those together, we can exponentially go farther and create even greater things. Because I cannot do what you do because that's not my gift. But you cannot do what I do because that's not your gift. It doesn't mean that you are better than me because you can do certain things that I can't do, and vice versa. It just means that because we are one, because we are connected, we are supposed to come together so that we can do beyond what we are equipped to do by ourselves. So, having said that, I have no difficulties, no issues by asking this question to you. What will be the name of our app?
I gotta guess I didn't expect that question. Because I'm like, because so yeah, you did a great job foreshadowing it. So it's cool that you asked me to let me be the one to say it. But yeah, your foreshadowing is even more like poignant. It's gonna be called Beloved Belief.
Mhm.
Beloved Belief. And the more and more we talk, the more and more I definitely believe the Holy Spirit is leading us to understand the power in that phrase.
Yeah.
Like our beloved is everything. It's beloved is God's possession. And we're God's possession.
So it's the BB app.
BBF. And it's about how I believe, how you believe.
Mm.
Like I'm just really getting further and further away from like the how to. Like I really think that verbiage, that way of packaging things is antiquated.
Mm.
Because it's really, you gotta practice.
Mm.
And when you practice, you typically won't have to preach. You find like even in my life, like I find myself like getting into a preachier vibe when I'm talking to people about what my goals and ambitions are that I find myself triggered by.
Mm.
When I find myself in a less stable spiritual and environment that's not conducive to what God wants for us on this planet, I find myself trying to defend myself by becoming preachier
Mm.
in my perspective, because at my core, I know my actions aren't reflecting my true intention, my true purpose.
Mm.
But then I find myself in another scenario where there are no preconceived notions and the requirement or even the speculation of me preaching about anything doesn't exist. Things are, they just are. It's the I am state. And the I am state is the state that God speaks his loudest. It's a proclamation state. I am. And the I am state doesn't even require that statement. It's obvious. that's my path. Like I'm going to live every moment of my life and breathe every moment. Live every breath I breathe in an obvious I am state that I can download to my son.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never got to see the I am state as a human being. A lot of us don't. My mother did. You did. Your parents did. Like a lot of it, like there were different purposes of life the further we go back. And I'm thankful to be in an era of this transition, this clear, enlightening era.
Mm-hmm.
That's like God is choosing to use his beloved to create this clear, like we talked about before, like ability to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you choose? Do you choose beloved path, or do you choose the path of everything else? The path of everything else will provide, will make you have to deal with everything else. The beloved path will make you have to deal with the causality of the beloved, which is everything else in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just like up is different from down, you know? It's like it doesn't belief doesn't ensure you anything other than your destination.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's nothing more important. I had to live a lot, go through a lot, experience a lot of pain to realize my destination is the most important. The world gets you consumed with the journey,
Mm-hmm.
but the Bible talks about the wilderness. No matter how poetic they try to wrap the word wilderness up, the journey is the wilderness. You can't value the journey more than your destination. Like, you can't. It's a complete fabrication. That is the most poetic lie that's being told.
Mm-hmm.
Without having intention on where you want to end up at the highest level. You have you can't have any expectation of anything meaningful coming into your life along the way. If it does appear, it will be fleeting. It'll be there just to literally be a reminder, because God always going to provide you with a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2/3 of all belong to Jesus. So he has to keep reminding us to give us the opportunity to come back, to give us the opportunity to choose what to believe. But we also got free will.
And
So as I realized, go ahead.
in many occasions, if you remember in the Gospels, many times when people came to Jesus for healing, on many occasions he said to them, several versions, different versions. He would say sometimes, "Be it done unto you according to your faith." Or I would say, "Be blessed, my child. Your faith has made you whole." So it goes back to whatever you choose. That's what you were saying, to believe. That's what you will bring into your reality.
And
So,
people, and that's just a perfect like segue, like what you believe, because manifested. Your life is manifestations of your beliefs,
mhm,
and your manifestations are what you experience as your journey. Without the belief, your journey can be hijacked. If you
yeah,
allow your belief to be hijacked,
mhm,
your journey is completely out of your control. And
yeah.
choosing to enjoy the journey alone is the literal choice of a robot.
Hmm. Because even unbelief is a belief.
Absolutely.
Because you got to believe that you don't need to
Absolutely.
believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your journey will reflect that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then we got this world who will tell you just embrace the journey, really enjoy it. It's, it's dark.
And there's nothing wrong in embracing the journey as long as you're going somewhere. You know where
that
you're
you
going.
want to that you want to go. Exactly. 'Cause God made that clear. Everybody is not up. It's not for us. If you know where you want to go, and it ain't where I want to go, we both got choices to make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a will, like you got a will,
Yeah.
but
And the fact that I'm not following where you're going, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It's just that I'm clear that where you're going is not where I'm going.
absolutely,
So I can decline your invitation and there is no malice to it. I still love you.
yeah,
We're just going to different places.
absolutely. And the
Yeah.
manifestations of the journey are the clearest indication of where your destination is.
Yeah.
Sometimes they aren't always. It isn't always the clearest because we don't know the spectrum of the human being you're dealing with. Some people had a lot, and when you're meeting them in the middle of their journey, they might be in the middle of losing a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
So you're envisioning what you see from your outside perspective as enjoyment while you're watching them buy things, purchase things, experience a luxurious life of spending. But you don't realize they are spending towards the bottom. Their journey will end them up in a destination of despair, desperation, and poor.
Mm.
But you met them in the middle of their loss. You're choosing to enjoy their journey with them. You see where that path ends. But then you can meet a person who comes from nothing, who may have nothing, or very humble beginnings, which I can sometimes colloquialize, and that's a problem. I got to stop saying humble beginning is nothing because none of us have nothing. So you can have a person that comes from a humble beginning and is being perceived while they're in the middle of their journey of belief and aspiration to the divine place, but you see constraint, you see discipline, you see even the other side of those same terms, you see rigidity,
Mm.
you see isolation, you see confusion at a glance,
Mm.
not chaos, but confusion. You see maybe even pain, sadness, you see despair, but you see health, you see fortitude, you see provision,
Mm.
you see a complete oxymoronic
Mm.
existence. And you will reject that journey as a journey to enjoy
Mm.
because the carnal self can't physically relate to the reward. And for me, that's me again, like just using my life as a reflection of like in a poetic way, like me giving like transparency to the fact that choosing God, choosing belief, choosing faith, no matter what time you choose it, is not ever supposed to be seen as an easy or a hard decision. It's supposed to be seen as a requirement. When something's required, you just do it. And then your manifestations of that belief ensue. But when you can be primed to make a choice, you have to be weary of why you're making the choice, for good or bad. If you're being primed to feel bad and make a choice for the bad, if you're being primed to feel good and make a choice for the good, which has been my path. I just live. Chose to live a life that as I looked at myself every day, I reminded myself I didn't hate myself. That's the choice I made. That's the belief I had before I understood why I believed in Jesus Christ, before I understood the word. I was raised to understand who Jesus Christ was. Did I have a true belief and understanding? No. The belief I had was I did not hate myself. I knew I deserved a chance. It was an innate understanding for me that this is what all people have. And for me, was the root of when I chose to write that book, to be transparent when I chose to understand and accept the power of forgiveness and realizing everything got to start inside of me first. When you live a life self-centered behavior, which is what I was living, focused on not hating me, surviving for me, providing for me. It was a life of a form of love that started with me first. But God is love, and love is all, and God is all. And that path has me now going through a period of being able to come outside of myself and now be aware of the effect I've had on everything around me, everyone around me, as they witnessed me in my self-centered state. But them trying to understand the oxymoron existence that I can reflect now of choosing now outwardly, not hating myself the same way I always inwardly wasn't willing to. But now having the understanding that through my belief is why I won't hate myself. Because God will forgive me. I repent, and there's nothing that I can do that I can't be forgiven for, no matter what an external opinion is. Is a development of a wealth that can't be taken from. And the destination of my journey is to be proof of God's omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. Not anything physical that is only temporal. So my journey is going to reflect the manifestations of that. And whether it's me hitting the lottery for $1 billion tomorrow, someone dropping $100 million check in my account for no reason, a doctor who has multiple accreditations, who's accredited throughout this country, who chose to take me on as a client for a discounted rate. And then on top of that, working with me and my wife, giving us tremendous value, and then choosing to use his medical prowess to then give clarity to me of the necessity for me to evolve as a human being of God, not just a person in therapy. To receive this gift that has an immeasurable financial value, that has and continues to convert into valuable resources that right now we're recording that are more manifestation of my belief, that only will have a temporal relevance when people's temporal minds choose to pay attention to it. But I believe in the spiritual mind and its omnipotence, its omniscience and omnipresence through the Holy Spirit. Everything else is consequence to that. This is probably one of the first times I'm talking. I kind of feel like, wow, nobody's going to understand anything I just said. I just said it. But it feels good to just be transparent and honest. But I'm used to being told by my wife, I'm very confusing. And I hope I'm not being confusing.
No, I would say that there's a lot of gem in what you're saying.
Jesus, we need you. I got it